So let's wrap up on all things AI and let's get back to talking about the beginning of your founder journey.
Sure.
I'm realizing this question may not make as much sense given the answer you gave earlier. What did you hate the most about working at big tech?
Yeah, so I didn't work at big tech before this, but I'm sure it would have been great. They have lobster for dinner, I hear.
What do you have? Ramen.
I
Same.
ramen, ramen profitable, baby.
Let's talk about founders versus early employees. Is a startup early employee just someone doing the same amount of work, but without the same level of equity?
Yeah. So we haven't hired yet, so I'm probably just speculating here, but I think, yeah, like early employees do have to kind of be practically a founder. And yeah, maybe they have less skin in the game, but if these early employees aren't operating at the level of autonomy that a founder is operating at, and the founding team isn't just operating at that level, it's hard to scale the company because, and I'm sure, you've probably thought about this quite a bit. It's, people management takes a lot of time, and it's really important to have people that kind of have the product vision and direction in mind.
So if you're an operator, why would you ever join as an early employee?
I think it's probably a couple of things, like you believe in the product and you believe in the market and you believe that this is like a real problem that you're excited to solve. And two is you enjoy working with those people. And I think that's probably one of the bigger ones is if you really enjoy the team that you're working with, it just makes things so much easier. Everything is just sort of a lot more, it's just greased up. It's just like, it's a much more efficient machine.
So let's talk about why you decided to start your own company. What's the story there?
Yeah, it was, I guess it was sort of like a slow burn. I started off on working on a side project, and then we incorporated it, and then I was playing startup for a while, the classic like early founder mistakes. But I think at that point, the point at which I had incorporated the company and I'd spent some time working on this, I realized that I was having so much fun and I was meeting a lot of really cool people. And so I did this for a few months, and then I had already signed an offer at Meta, but I turned it down because I was just having too much fun to quit.
So there was no opportunity cost for starting the startup. Well, I guess technically the opportunity cost of a Meta salary.
Yep, but I don't even know what that feels like. I came straight out of the master's program. So I'm sure it's great, but I don't feel it because I never had it.
Let's talk about which entrepreneur you look up to the most.
Hmm, that's a good one. I mean, there's a lot of really great ones. Um, I think one that I've like really looked up to is Brian Chesky, and I'm sure a lot of people have the same answer. But I think it's a couple of things. Is like I heard him talk fairly recently about his startup journey, and even from the beginning, there were so many people that told him he can't do it, and so many people that thought he was absolutely crazy. But he had that unique insight, and he held on to it. And it's really hard to hold on to that when everyone is telling you otherwise. And I think it's really cool that he did that. Um, and I think that's one. And then two, there was sort of this big uh, turning point for Airbnb right around the time of COVID, because obviously people stopped traveling, and so their revenue fell by quite a bit. And I think it must have been really, really hard to run a company. And just hearing his war stories from all of that and how he recovered and how he like mentally persevered through that was extremely impressive and extremely inspiring.
What types of people do you think are unfit to be founders?
Huh. I think people who don't care enough about like the kind of work that they produce, or the product that they produce. As like, I think like as a founder, you need to have this like level of respect and like attention to detail for your product, and the product experience has to be incredible. Um, and of course, you have to like also believe in the product. Like sometimes it's like a delusional amount of belief, but you do have to have like a certain belief that this is a worthwhile problem to solve, because there are so many uphill battles to fight.
I love how you took a seemingly like negative connotation question and just put a very positive, inspiring spin to it. Last one then to end it on an even higher note. what do you look forward to the most in your startup journey, aside from selling secondaries, becoming rich, whatever that may be? Forward to the most?
I think I'm really excited to learn, man. I think I've already in the past year, so I've kind of been at this kind of like trying to do a startup for a year now, and this idea has been a lot more recent, but I have learned such a tremendous amount, and I think that this is just the beginning, and I'm having so much fun doing it. So I'm young. I just want to learn as much as I can.
Love it. We're really excited to follow you on your journey, man. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Alex.